So some of you might know we recently released our Playertube software on the website, which is basically allows coaches to put video online for their players to view and also comment on, and coaches can comment as well. I just wanted to go through today and talk about a specific application of that software to your coaching in terms of skill acquisition and teaching approaches, and specifically about how you can take the concept that you have on the training field of the teachable moment or coachable moment, which occurs. So during training, you might be doing a game-based training drill, and a certain moment occurs where you want something to happen. It might be a tactical concept like switching the play, and if it might be done correctly or incorrectly, and that's the opportunity there to freeze the play and ask open-ended questions to players, and that's often called the coachable or teachable moment. Now, it's possible to do that online as well. So obviously your training time is restricted in terms of how much you can do. Even at the elite level these days, recovery is so important that coaches at all levels are restricted in how much training time they can do. And the other thing with game-based training is, for sports like Australian football, soccer probably as well, where there's a large number of players, it's hard for players to get high repetition of game-based decisions and situations and to be put in those situations. So I'm going to go through how you can use online video to recreate that teachable or coachable moment and increase the repetitions that players perhaps have of making those tactical decisions. So we'll go through that now. Okay, so I've gone to the Playertube webpage, and I'm going to log in as a coach. And here's just the one video in my video library, Australian football example. I'm going to load that in, and we're just going to skip ahead here to a certain point in the video that's relevant. Okay, so here's our situation. We'll go full screen. So in Australian football, when the ball goes out of bounds, the umpire will throw it back in, and this is called a stoppage situation. And the coachable moment here, often from a stoppage, is can we get, if we win the football in this situation, is can we get enough time and space to get an effective kick forward to maintain possession, or do we just have to quickly rush the kick forward and hope that our forwards do the best job? So in this example, we win possession, and right here we're saying this player who won the ball first could give the handball and allow us to perhaps switch the play across to this side of the ground, and which means we get a more effective clearance and have a better chance of maintaining possession and scoring, versus he's just quickly kicked the ball forward and the opposition win possession. So that situation there is what would be a coachable moment. So in training, that might be a situation that you set up is a stoppage situation where ball's thrown in, you win the ball, and you've got to make good decisions based on, can we use handball and get an effective clearance with time and space, maybe switch the play, or do we just have to quickly kick the ball forward and hope for the best? So what we can do, if we come out of that, is we'll come back to that moment. So how you would use Playertube in this context. I'd pause it here, and using the commenting area is where I would ask a question. So this is in the coachable moment, being able to use the questioning approach to make your players have to think about what the best option was. So here I'd say, when Adelaide win the ball, was the quick kick the best option? So this is a reasonably open-ended question. If I also have why or why not, it's a reasonably open-ended question that players have to think about whether this was the best option or not, and give a reason for what they think. So we're working on their critical thinking skills. In skill acquisition terms, this is often this concept is declarative knowledge. There's procedural knowledge, which is how to do something. This declarative knowledge is about what to do. Okay, so that's just a bit of skill acquisition. So we put that in, save that comment. So now that comment is going to be time coded to this exact point. So now as a player, we'll log out, refresh the page, and we'll log back in as a player. So I've been told by my coach to go in and look at a certain video. Australian football one, and to click on the comment and put in my own thoughts. So I'll pause the video. I see here's a comment or a question from coach one. When Adelaide win the ball, was the quick kick the best option? Why or why not? I click on that comment and I'm taken to that exact point in the video that's relevant. So I'm taken to this coachable moment. Now I'm the player. I might put it in full screen, play the video. So was the quick kick the best option? Why or why not? Watch the video. Quick kick. No, I might just go back a bit. I might say saw enough the first time and then enter my comment. So as a player say no, had a free handball option to get a time and space kick. Time and space kick. So that's my, save that. Go back to show a comment. So you can see here now that player one's comments appear in here. So what happens is over time is you'd want your players to first look at the footage and look at the coach's question, and then to put in their own, and then they might also look at what other players have put in, which is a great way as well, a bit of a collaborative way of building their knowledge. And they might look at what another player's put and start to think, yeah, is that right or wrong? Am I right or wrong? So all this is getting them to critically reflect and think about how you want to play, which is great. So there it is. That's an example of how to use Playertube, an online video, to replicate that coachable moment in training, to give your players more repetition at having to think about how you're going to play the game and want to play the game, and hopefully when they get into a real game situation, some of that transfers. Obviously, you can't compensate completely for the training experience. They physically still have to do it at some point, which is that procedural knowledge. They have to actually get out and physically do it, but this is another way, and a really effective way in my experience, of complementing that on-field training. So yeah, I'd strongly encourage you to give it a go, use it out in your coaching, and love to hear any feedback that you've got on how effective it was.